Alright, hey guys, I'm back. So yeah, sorry, like I told you, I already had kind of bad stomachache. Anyway, so continuing with the Halloween series. So, I already ended the second film. Um, the third film came out in 82, 83, I think, around there. I think it was 83, but I don't remember. Um, that film was called Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. It was the first first Halloween film to have a subtitle in it, meaning that there was like a second title to the film instead of just Halloween 3. Um, like there has been for some films, like trying to think here. Um, I don't know, some other films. So yeah, Halloween 3. This Just so you know, guys, if you have never seen these series before, but you want to, I don't know if this would be these video this video reviews might be good for you or might be bad because there's not too much to spoil in a horror slasher flick, but there might be some spoils that you might not want to listen to, but I want to say because those are like probably my favorite parts of the film, you know, of the films. So I kind of have to say it in a way. Um, but this part right now, I'm talking about the third film. That is not a spoiler because I don't really have much to say about the third film at all. I'm not gonna even really tell too much about it at all. Um, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because the third film is not part of the Halloween film series. It has Halloween in the title, but it has nothing to do with Michael Myers or the whole story or number one and number two at all. Or even the sequels after it. Or even the films after it. It doesn't have to do anything with those. It's basically just to take the series, make it into something more Halloween-y instead of more. It's like more about, it talks more about the holiday and what people do, what scares people on that holiday, than it is about the psycho killer Michael Myers, which is disappointed a lot of people when they saw this film. So I'll just tell you a little synopsis about it. It's more basically about one company makes masks that kills children, basically. So it's kind of weird. But yeah. Sorry, guys. If you thought that was a drug, it's basically Florigen, which helps me with my craps, so they're not really liquidy or diarrhea. So it kind of is a drug in a way, but not a bad one. So yeah, so continuing with the series, Halloween 4 came out in 1988, and basically they took that whole complaint to heart, and they brought Michael Myers back. It was called Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Technically it's Halloween 3, but it's Halloween 4 since there already was a Halloween 3, but it would have been a Halloween 3, I guess. It was basically the sequel to the second film, so kind of continues the series, basically. Now, this is another one of my favorite Halloween films of all time. Oh, dang. I think I forgot to put Halloween 4 Return of Michael Myers on my favorite movie list. Dang it, on Facebook. But it is one of my favorite Halloween films. The other two are the original. The other three, sorry, are the original Halloween 2 in the 1981 version, and the remake, which I actually thought was a really good film. A lot of people don't like it, but I thought it was good. It's a little sad and gory, but we're not going to talk about it right now since I'm not even on that yet. Halloween 4 basically brings Michael Myers back, says he was in a coma for I think about 8 months or something like that after the whole fire incident. He has a bunch of burn scars on his hands and face as well, but you don't see the face at all because it's wrapped up in this one thing. Like gauze, basically. It's wrapped up in gauze. And so, you know, he comes back to life. And, you know, like I said, I actually didn't really say, oh, you know what I should have told you guys? Halloween 2 reveals that Laurie Strode is actually Michael Myers' younger sister. Also, at the beginning of the film, the first film, way beginning, I completely forgot about this, but Michael Myers killed his older sister when he was 6 years old. So this was his younger sister, Laurie Strode, that he's trying to go after, basically. He goes after his whole family, really, in the whole series. But yeah. So then there was Halloween 4. He realizes that Laurie got killed in a car crash, but she had a daughter named Jamie. So he basically goes after Jamie. Dr. Loomis comes back, you know, he has just got a couple burn scars on the right side of his face, but it's not like terrible. It's not like anyone really totally cares, unless you're like big sympathy for him. But it's not really what a lot of people want to see. A lot of people want to see the burned face of Michael Myers, and you don't exactly totally see it in the rest of the films, which kind of sucks, but it's really supposed to create suspense and you know, interest in the films. But so Michael Myers is, oh, you know what, I should get my breakfast ready. I was probably supposed to have it by now, but I wanted to do this review. Dang it. So continuing with what I was saying, Michael, and so he goes after Jamie, yada yada. And Jamie's staying with her cousin, I suppose. I don't exactly know who she's staying with. I'm guessing it's her cousin's. Her cousin's house. Yeah, like her aunt, uncle, cousin house, you know, but whatever. And so, you know, it's Halloween, of course, and, you know, at first she doesn't want to go trick-or-treating, then she does, because all these people in her school bully her because she doesn't like going trick-or-treating. She has this whole, you know, nightmare thing about Michael Myers. And Michael Myers is her uncle, so she gets this like this connection with him. I don't remember. It's really explained in the 4th and 5th films, especially in the 5th. But it's really kind of forgotten the rest of the films. Last film that she was ever in I think it was completely forgotten. I don't even remember them even talking about the telepathic part in that film. So yeah, so Michael Myers goes after her, yada yada, finds her in this, you know, finds her in the house, the cousin's house. You know, there's a bunch of policemen there, so this whole fight. Basically, Michael Myers then gets thrown, like, goes into a cemetery and basically gets shot down by 100 policemen. And that's really the end of the 4th film. The 5th film came out in 1989. It was one of those films just to kind of revive the genre, because by then there's a bunch of shitty slasher flicks that were coming out that a lot of people expected to be good, but then turned out really bad. So it was kind of shitty in a way. I'll tell you the ones that came out in 1989 that a lot of people hated. Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, and Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Dream Child. Dream Child actually did a little bit better than Jason Takes Manhattan, but it still kind of sucked. And I think Halloween 5 was got a little bit better. It was better, I should say. Halloween 5 was called Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Michael Myers basically returns. I don't exactly remember too much about this film since I saw it on TV the first time, and then second time I watched it on YouTube. And YouTube was when I was paying more attention to it, but it was still kind of blurry. Like, the video quality wasn't that good because I didn't have as much good. It didn't really have that good Wi-Fi, so it was, blurring and, pixelated and stuff like that, and it kind of sucked. So I don't exactly remember too much, but I remember Michael Myers somehow floated into water after he got shot and came back up. Jamie's in the hospital this time, and she can't exactly really talk. And she's still having these telepathic connections with her uncle. And, Dr. Loomis wants to use that in order to find her uncle and basically destroy him, or at least convince him to stop killing people if he can't die, basically. But she kind of refuses, so he's like, pestering her about it, and she refuses, so he kind of leaves, and then he eventually she eventually can talk, and really there's this bunch of plot stuff when, Michael Myers is killing people at parties, and yada yada, it's Halloween, yada yada, kind of the original type of Halloween type of, plot line, and then Dr. Loomis finally finds Michael back in the Myers house, and tries to convince Michael to put down the knife and not kill people, and then he gets really pissed off and stuff like that. So there's that. And then there was this another part when Michael Myers finds Jamie, but Jamie convinces Michael to take off his mask, so he does. Doesn't really exactly show his face because he's in the shadows, but a lot of people say it's kind of grotesque and stuff like that. I'm like, how did you see that? All I saw was a shadow over his face and the outline of his head and the pulled back hair, I guess. But they all kind of said a lot of people said they saw ugliness or grotesqueness in the face. I'm like, oh, I wish I saw that. Huh. Yeah, I don't exactly remember what happens to Michael at the end of the film. You know what it was? I think he got arrested. That's what it was. Yeah, now I remember. He got arrested. And then this dude dressed in black kind of goes up and, releases him from the jail. So that's Halloween 5. Halloween 6, the series were sold to Paramount, I think, or something like that. New Line. And they started in 1995, that's when they got it, and they released the film Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, which is the last of the whole Halloween Michael Myers trilogy, to be exact, because then there's Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 5, Revenge of Michael Myers, and Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. So it's the Michael Myers trilogy in a way. It's the last one of the trilogy. Although it's still in the same series as the first film and the second film and all that. It's sequels to the sequels of the, So in this film, there's really two versions. There's the producer's cut, which is a lot of people say is weird because it's actually supposed to be called the director's cut, and the producer's cut is most likely the one that goes into the theaters, but this is the one that was not released in the theaters. This is more of one when it's a bootleg version, and it's kind of a weirder version because it's there's like this curse that goes on in Michael Myers. He's being controlled by this cult who tells him to kill the rest of his family, and Jamie's gonna get pregnant, so he kills Jamie, yada yada. There's that whole thing, and Dr. Loomis kind of shows up, he's about to retire or something like that, and then he realizes Michael Myers is still out there, so he kind of tries to help in a way and gives that weird speech. And then there's the whole cult, and it turns out to be the guy. There's this weird part when Michael Myers turns out to be the dude in black, who is actually the caretaker of Michael, and the guy in black turns out to be Michael, and so there's that whole creepiness. And then there's the one that's on in the theaters, which was more bloody, and I should say a little bit better than the producer's cut. This is kind of one a lot of people saw mostly. I think it might be the one that was on DVD as well, unless there was like a double pack which came with the producer's cut and the regular version that you saw in the theaters. Just had a lot more blood and death, and not so much Dr. Loomis, and the whole cult thing is out of the film, so I still call it The Curse of Michael Myers. So yeah, that was one of the more non-famous ones. There was another one that was the last film of the original series, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. Halloween 7 came out in 1998. It was called Halloween H2O, Halloween 20 Years Later. Basically, it was based after the second film, 20 years after the second film. It ignores number 4, 5, and 6, so really those movies never happened, really. But this was a very big Halloween film. A lot of people talk about it. There's a lot of videos of it on YouTube. I guess there's a lot of trailers of it as well. But yeah, really Jamie doesn't exist in this film. It's actually, Laurie has a son who's about in his 20s now, I guess, and Laurie is about like 50 something, 60. And she's a teacher. Michael Myers comes back and starts killing people, so she actually kind of fights him this time, and at the end this was a very kind of sad scene in a way, and I liked it actually. I liked the scene. This is like the last scene with Michael Myers in the film. It was really how Michael Myers got defeated in this film. There's this whole like crash thing, and he gets kind of stuck in the crash, but he's trying to reach up to his sister so she can help him. So she's kind of sad at first, so she kind of puts her hand out to sympathetic, basically trying to take him. And then what she does is she takes her axe and chops off Michael's head, and you see his head roll down and land. So there's that. Then, so yeah, and so that's the end of that film. But it was a really big film. The 8th and final film of the original series came out in 2001. It was called Halloween Resurrection. This film had Laurie once again in the film, but it was kind of really not so much based on Laurie as it was of the other characters in the film. So that's what it was. Other characters. And Michael's going after yada yada, all of them, original Halloween story, but a lot of people hate this film. So it's not totally like original Halloween story, but it's like, in a way, it kind of contains some of the same stuff as any of the other films. Like, Michael Myers goes after people and starts killing them. So there's that. And there's not too much to say about the film, really. It's just more plot and killing and stuff like that. Not too much interesting things, but I thought the movie was okay. It's not the best, but I thought it was okay. It was entertaining to me, at least. I like the ending though when Michael Myers gets strapped up in the burning building and he sets on fire, and there's this deleted scene when I don't know if this happened in the original, like the regular film, or this was none of this happened in the regular film. It was just a deleted scene. Michael, it shows Michael getting pulled out in the hospital, and it shows his burned mask and everything like that, and this guy's like swearing and stuff like that, and Michael just grabs them and wakes up and grabs them. So there's that. 2007, Rob Zombie directed the remake, which is basically kind of the same as the original film, except there's a lot of different things, and tells more about his story when he was a kid, why he wanted to kill. Not too much of why he wanted to kill, but like, oh shit. That. And then in 2009 there was a sequel. So yeah, alright guys, I gotta go. My mom just came home and technically I was supposed to have breakfast by now. So yeah, alright guys, bye.